Hello and welcome to TVRI World Special Report. I'm Siska Becker. This evening, we'll be diving into one of the most significant economic gathering in 2024, the Apec Summit. This year, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or Apec Summit, is being held in the vibrant city of Lima in Peru. Leaders and delegates from 21 member economies are coming together to discuss crucial and important issues in relation to innovation, trade, and sustainable growth, and of course, that shapes the future of trade globally. Now, President Prabowo Subianto has arrived and actively participating in those crucial discussions. So let's get into the details and start with our report on the Apec Summit 2024. President Prabowo Subianto has told the Apec Summit 2024 in Peru it remains a major problem in Indonesia, despite the country's ability to maintain economic growth above 5% each year.
I come from a country now.
Speaking in the opening of Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Summit 2024 in Lima, Peru on Friday, President Prabowo Subianto said that the Indonesian government has consistently implemented a prudent economic and fiscal policy in the past few years. The prudent economic policy helped Indonesia to maintain its economic growth above 5% annually, higher than the average global growth, even after the COVID-19 pandemic ended. Inflation rate in Indonesia, Prabowo said, remained under control at 2%. However, the president said Indonesia will facing a huge challenge in coping with poverty.
I come from a country now, Indonesia, one of the largest countries in the world, fourth largest population. Our territory from west to east is nearly the length of Europe. Europe has 27 countries or more. We are one country. We have our significant challenges, but we are blessed with abundant resources, significant territory, land and water. We have the fortune of being able to, in a few years, be completely self-sufficient in energy, self-sufficient in green energy. We will be perhaps one of the few countries that can achieve 100% renewable energy within a few years. We have managed to have a prudent economical and fiscal policies in the last years. We managed to maintain growth even after the COVID. Our growth now is about 5%, higher than the global average. Our inflation is at 2%. We have challenges. We still have, I would say, we still have poverty at a large scale, large level, which I'm determined to bring down. And we do have a significant percentage of our children malnourished. I'm also determined to address these problems head on.
Prabowo told the summit that he was committed to solving the problem of poverty in a bigger scale, including malnutrition among Indonesian children. In order to solve poverty, he said Indonesia needed higher economic growth so that it could provide more jobs. While poverty remained a major challenge in Indonesia, the trend showed a decline in the past few years. Data from Statistics Indonesia, or BPS, showed that poverty rate declined to 9.03% in March this year, from previously 9.36% in the period last year. The number of people living in poverty reached 25 million people in Indonesia, slightly declining from March last year.
President Prabowo Subianto warned world leaders of the alarming impact of technology investment. While technological progress brings significant benefits to human life, it also has the potential to destroy life in a short time, the Indonesian president says.
But our planet has become smaller.
In his remarks at Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or Apec Summit in Lima, Peru on Thursday, President Prabowo Subianto said that the world is now increasingly interconnected, with many technological breakthroughs bringing significant advancements to human life. However, this advancement requires the world leaders be more wise, patient, and open in addressing global challenges, he added.
We are now in a planet full of technological breakthroughs. The tremendous breakthroughs in technology demands that leaders be more wise, be more patient, be more accommodating, because the power of technology can bring significant progress to human life. But the power of technology can also destroy human life very fast. Therefore, I always choose the path of collaboration, engagement, communication, negotiation. Yes, we have to uphold and live by common laws, by international rules, but we must also have common understanding of everybody's interests.
According to Prabowo, peace and prosperity are supported by economic activity. He emphasized that without the contribution of the economy, growth and prosperity would not be possible. He added that currently, Indo-Pacific region is the most dynamic region in the world. Economic growth, technological achievements, demographic wealth, and abundant resources in this region serve as a promising foundation for a bright economic future for all stakeholders.
One of the largest countries in the world.
President Prabowo Subianto has invited foreign companies to open hospitals and universities in Indonesia. He also encouraged private parties to invest in other businesses in Indonesia.
In his remarks at the Apec Summit in Lima, Peru on Thursday, President Prabowo Subianto invited foreign universities and hospital operators to invest in Indonesia. Prabowo said he pledged to provide more conducive business climate to lure more foreign investment into Indonesia. He said he had a deep understanding of what to do to help investors because before entering the government, he was also a businessman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a firm believer in the role of private business. Before I entered government, I was also a businessman, an entrepreneur, so I do understand from both sides the concerns, the challenges faced by private business. I think private business wants a certainty of the legal system. Private business wants favorable economic climate, political climate, stability, security, and good conditions, favorable incentives, and this we are addressing. We have liberalized our laws. We open the health sector for foreign health companies. We are opening our education sector. We invite foreign universities to open campuses. We are inviting foreign hospitals to open their branches in Indonesia. We are going forward with more incentives. We have created several special economic zones, and we will create more of these special economic zones.
Furthermore, Prabowo also assured that Indonesia has created several special economic zones so that investors can run their business more efficiently. He also promised to push for the use of advanced and modern technology in order to support the traditional economy.
President of Indonesia, Prabowo Subianto, in his speech, reiterated his commitment to protect all foreign investment coming to Indonesia, to create a conducive and inclusive economic climate, and to be actively participating in the global economy.
Apec was attended by leaders of major multinational companies. President Prabowo Subianto also ensured that all foreign investment in Indonesia would receive maximum protection as well as legal certainty. He said the Indonesian government will have to ensure the protection of foreign investment in order to build investor confidence in Indonesia's economy.
I'm determined to protect all investments, to give favorable economic conditions, and to be involved in the major economic organizations of the world, and to work together with all of you to create mutual prosperity.
President Prabowo also emphasized the importance of creating economic and political stability in the region, as it would needed to support international cooperation. Indonesia will also continue to participate in global forums to strengthen its position in the world market, he said.
I believe that prosperity can only come from peace. Peace comes from understanding. Understanding comes from engagement and negotiation. So I'm very happy to attend this APEC summit, to renew contacts, to introduce myself, to introduce my country, and to invite cooperation between all of you, the private sector of the Pacific.
In the forum, President Prabowo also revealed that Indonesia needs investment of about 9.5 trillion rupiah, or about $600 billion to further boost the national economic growth. APEC CEO Summit is part of the series of meetings held during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Summit in 2024. The CEO Forum is a platform of member countries and the private sector to strengthen economic relations and build global partnership.
We'll take a short break for now, but when we return, we have the details of the meeting between Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our special report on the APEC Summit 2024, and the next item will take us live to Lima, Peru. Today is the last day of the 2024 APEC Peru Summit, leaving a lasting impact on the global economic landscape, from trade deals and climate change initiatives to economic inequality and technological disruption. They're all discussed in the event. Now let's join Sesco live from the city of Lima, Peru on the last day of the summit. Hello, Sesco, go ahead. Tell us what are the latest updates from the last day of APEC Summit 2024.
Yes, hello, Siska. Good morning, Peru time, and good evening, Jakarta time. Well, today marks the final day of the APEC Peru 2024 Summit. The day will begin with a warm welcome to APEC leaders by this year's host, the President of Peru, Dina Boluarte, followed by the APEC Economic Leaders Retreat. As the summit draws to a close, the host economy leader will deliver concluding remarks summarizing the key outcomes and future directions of the APEC Forum. Yesterday, the APEC leaders' informal dialogue provided a platform for open and candid discussions among economic leaders. President Dina Boluarte of Peru emphasized the importance of sustained efforts to empower citizens and drive economic growth. President Boluarte highlighted the three priorities established for 2024 as essential for achieving APEC's objectives. The informal dialogue served as an important opportunity for leaders to exchange views on pressing global issues and shape the future of the APEC region. On the sidelines of the summit, Indonesia President Prabowo Subianto held a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada, the President of Vietnam, and the Prime Minister of New Zealand. In the evening, President Prabowo attended the APEC Economic Gala Dinner hosted by the Peruvian government at the Peruvian State Palace. On Thursday, November 14, 2024, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto also held a bilateral meeting with the President of Peru, Dina Boluarte. After the bilateral meeting, President Prabowo Subianto and President Dina Boluarte witnessed the signing of the visa exemption agreement for holders of the diplomatic and service or special passports, which signifies the strengthening of countries. The signing was carried out by the Indonesian Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Peruvian Minister of Foreign Affairs. The official visit ended with a joint press statement in which the two presidents agreed to increase cooperation between Indonesia and Peru. President Prabowo also participated in a keynote session at the APEC CEO Summit, focusing on the impact of investment on development. He joined a distinguished panel of experts to discuss strategies for advancing social, technological, and economic progress. This panel of the session, comprising Martin Schutter, Chairman and CEO of Kyndryl, Anindya Bakri, Chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or called Kadin. He is also the President Director of and CEO of PT Bakri and Brothers, and also Bernardo Lorraine Mate, Vice Chairman of the Board, Bonnie Wai-Chan, CEO of Hong Kong Exchange and Clearing Limited, and was moderated by Huang Fei, reporter of CGTN. On the joint ministerial meeting, strengthening ties for Asia-Pacific prosperity were discussed. The promotion of economic cooperation, sustainable and inclusive trade and investment, as well as digitalization and innovation were the center themes of the 35th APEC Foreign and Trade Ministers meeting, which took place within the framework of Economic Leaders Week. This meeting, considered a prelude to the Forum's economic leaders meetings, reflects the achievement reached during the APEC Peru 2024 process. The ministers of the APEC economies ratified their commitment to the Putrajaya Vision 2040 for the construction of an open, dynamic, resilient, and peaceful Asia-Pacific community with the view to that year. Likewise, the importance of innovation and digitalization for the transition to the formal and global economy through dialogue and cooperation between the public and private sectors was highlighted. They also highlighted the need to join forces in order to generate instruments and initiatives so that population, especially the most vulnerable, achieve development and prosperity. Other topics addressed during the ministerial meeting were the facilitation of trade and investment, the use of low-carbon hydrogen and other clean energy sources, mining, food security, sustainable tourism, inclusive health, SMEs, and as the engine of the economy, and the inclusion of people with disabilities, among others. The joint ministerial meeting was co-chaired by the Peruvian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Elmer Schaller, and the Peruvian Minister of Foreign Trade and Tourism, Spesial. APEC ministers also drive forward equitable trade and inclusive growth goals. The 2024 APEC ministerial meeting addressed a new collaborative initiative to this end under the theme of Empower, Include, and Grow. Priorities include advancing regional economic integration that promotes trade and investment for inclusive and interconnected growth, harnessing innovation and digitalization to promote the transition to a formal and global economy, and intensifying efforts for sustainable growth for resilient development. Peruvian Minister Elmer Schaller highlighted that APEC substantive works to this year have been guided by the commitment to a strong, balanced, secure, sustainable, and inclusive growth which members need to turn into real outcomes. Reflecting on APEC's progress, the meeting of trade ministers in Arequipa back in May reaffirmed members' support to the WTO, advanced their shared and updated free trade area of the Asia-Pacific agenda, and underscored their commitment to enhancing connectivity, strengthening resilient supply chain, expanding MSMEs' access to formal and global markets, and fostering the economic empowerment of women through trade. On Wednesday, November 13, 2024, a press conference was held by Carlos Kuriyama, director of the APEC Support Unit, to analyze regional trends and APEC. Key topics included the recovery of mining investment and the Asia-Pacific region, particularly in Peru. Kuriyama emphasized the importance of addressing rising production costs. A dialogue on indigenous people was also held to explore indigenous communities' perspectives on inclusive growth and economic empowerment, highlighting their vital role in sustainable development. We hope the outcome of the APEC summit will have a significant impact on the region's economic growth, trade, and investment. As the APEC Peru 2024 summit concludes, President Prabowo Subianto, later around 2 or 3 p.m. local time today, will depart for Brazil to attend the G20 summit. Siska.
All right, thank you so much, Sesko Satrio, live from Lima, Peru, for your comprehensive reporting and for the recap of the summit so far. We'll be looking forward to hear about the conclusion of the summit later on. Until then, please keep us informed, stay safe, and stay warm. Thank you, Sesko Satrio. We now move on to the next item from the APEC Summit 2024. U.S. President Joe Biden met with Japan and South Korea's leaders as they sought to cement their diplomatic progress ahead of a new Trump administration that many fear could upend alliances worldwide. In the meantime, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol addressed the parallel APEC CEO summit and acknowledged the challenges that await in next year's summit, which will be hosted in South Korea, noting the problems caused by protectionist policies.
Joe Biden met with Japan and South Korea's leaders to strengthen diplomatic ties ahead of a potential Trump administration that could potentially disrupt global alliances. The meeting between Washington and two of its closest Asian allies came as U.S. relations with Beijing are expected to grow more confrontational after Donald Trump's January 20th inauguration, given his promises of sharp tariff hikes that could hobble China's economy. The meeting on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Lima, Peru, brings Biden, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, and Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, who assumed office in October, together in person for the first time. Meantime, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol addressed the parallel Apec CEO summit. Yoon acknowledged the challenges that await at next year's summit, which will be hosted in South Korea, noting the problems caused by perfectionist policies. He also highlighted the global trade crisis due to fragmented supply chains and protectionism, along with increasing uncertainties in the global economy, climate crisis, low growth, and geopolitical risk.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Prime Minister of Canada.
And that's the end of our special report on TVRI World for the APEC Summit 2024. For more news on the conclusion of the summit, stay tuned to TVRI World. Until then, take care. I'm Siska Becker. Thank you for watching.